Good afternoon, everyone. I'm seeing that few members have joined. So anyway, we'll see this particular program. This will be the last program that we'll be seeing in this unit. I hope so. Remaining programs I have kept as for your practice. They are not compulsory programs which you need to have for your exams. So let's get into those programs, or shall we wait for few more minutes for your remaining friends to join up? Kumar says, let's wait. Okay, I will wait, but what is happening is time frame is so critical. Though it says 50 minutes duration, it winds up within 40 minutes. I'm starting the class now. The remaining may join in between, and if needed, they can revise back using the video. So, in the previous session, we were discussing about this particular program, and our ideology was to create a frame which was of this nature, the output which I have shown here. Now to have this particular frame, first of all, we have extended the frame class, and we have extended it into our own class called as add. And we came to a conclusion there are two labels, three text fields, button. So we have declared all of them. And then in the constructor, to allocate the memory, we have, for the frame itself, we have set the resizable as false, set its title as addition, set its size as 300 by 300 pixels, and we have set its location as 100 by 100, so that the frame can be viewed correctly on our monitors. Now for all those what we have declared above, we have assigned them or allocated them the memory along with their initial captions. Now once that is done, we have set the layout as null, and we have explicitly mentioned what should be the coordinate locations of our labels, buttons, and text fields. So for example, the first one, I'm telling that the first one should be 10 pixels in the first coordinate location should be text from the x-axis and 50 pixels from the top y-axis. So this will be the starting point of our label, first label. And the ending point, I'm presuming that it will go 150 pixels to the x and 20 pixels to the down. Okay, so that will give me the second ending point. So this is again, you need to just adjust it as per your requirements. It all depends on how you compose that particular values. As a developer, you will test and trial something and you will come to a conclusive point. But do remember, when I'm saying that the first will start at 50th from the height orientation, it should have some correspondence to it also. So there are certain things that you need to keep in your mind and you need to adjust it. So those coordinates are not our actual logic that we need to discuss. Now, one after the other, after allocating the coordinates, I'm going to add them back onto the frame. Once they are added, here is the key code, this particular line. Button, I'm trying to associate it with that of some action listener. Associated with some action listener. What is this particular thing? How I am associating it? How I am registering the button component with some action listener? What I am doing is I am writing button add, which is the name for this particular button. Button underscore add dot add action listener is the method which will register this particular button with some action listener. Add action listener is the method which will associate this particular component with some action listener. Okay. And to this add action listener, we have to pass the present object. What is this present object? Button underscore add. Who has made a call to this particular method? Button underscore add, right? Using button underscore add only, we are calling add action listener. So this will point to the button underscore add. Clear? Now, what action is to be performed? What is the listener going to do with that particular button when the button's state changes? We are defining it here. Add window listener. What is that particular window listener going to do? I'm sorry, this is not the code. This is not the code. I'm sorry for that particular part. Add action listener is going to associate some action to be associated with that of our button, right? And that particular action that is to be associated or executed will be called as action performed. That method name is action performed. This is a predefined name. Okay, this is a predefined name. And it will take the action event which has occurred and we are just passing the object of that action event. AE is our own given name of this particular class object. And I'm trying to get to know what is the source that has triggered this particular event AE. So to get to know what is the source that has triggered that particular event, I'm having get source as a predefined method. So if I write AE.getSource, I'll get to know out of these components which were placed, 3 text boxes, text fields, 2 labels and 1 button, altogether 6. Out of the 6 components that are placed here, what is the source which has made this event to come into existence? Okay, that if that particular source is same as that of the button underscore add, if it is this particular button that has triggered that particular action to be performed, then what to do? I'm writing first number, take a variable fn, first number, take the text field first number, get whatever text is there. Get text is a predefined method. So if I write text field under txt underscore f number dot text, it will read whatever has been entered in this text box. Okay, get text is a predefined method. So whatever it is going to read, it is in the form of string. It is in the form of character array. So I need to typecast it into integer format so that addition can be done. Okay, so to typecast it, I have got integer.parseInt. Integer.parseInt. Integer is my wrapper class and parseInt is a predefined method in the wrapper class integer, which will convert whatever parameter we have passed into its corresponding integer value. Okay, and assign it back to the f number. Similarly, I'm reading the second text box data, whatever has been entered here. txt underscore s number dot get text. Using the get text predefined method, I'm trying to read what is there in the text field txt underscore s number, converting or typecasting it into integer format and assigning it back into s number as a variable. Now sum is equal to first number plus second number. And to put this sum into the third text box, text field, what I'm doing is I'm making use of a predefined method called as set text. Just like get text is for reading the data from the text field, set text is going to set the values in the text field. So what I'm doing, I'm passing sum and some empty string here. Why I'm doing some empty string? Because this plus will make this particular string added with that of sum. Do remember sum was of what type? Integer type. But here what data type it takes? String data type. So what I need to do? I need to typecast this sum into string format. So easiest way of conversion of sum to string is add that integer value to a blank string. So string and integer, which one is higher? Which data type is higher? String. So what will be the end result of the data type for the summation? String. Okay. So this is meant for implicit typecasting. Simply saying, I wanted to convert this sum, which was in integer format, into string format so that it can be displayed in the text box. Okay, to have it converted into string format, all I need to do is I have to write sum plus a blank string. Okay, so this value I'm going to set it to the txt underscore sum. Okay, so what is this method then? If you recollect back, when we were clicking on the close button, it was not closing that particular window. It was not closing that window because we did not wrote a code that is to be performed when this button is being clicked. Similar to what code we have written for this button, add button, we have to write a code for the close button also. Okay, so the code that is to be written for this particular close button I have mentioned here. Add window listener, this is going to be attached. Here we were attaching the action listener to the button btn underscore add, right? But this close button is for the entire frame, not just for one button. This close button is for entire frame. So whenever some action is to be performed for the entire frame, I need not associate it with a particular component. Okay, that's why I have not written btn underscore add action. Instead of add action listener, I would have written add window listener. No need. Just we can write it directly here. Add window listener, new window adapter class, and within that adapter class, create one function called as window closing and pass window event to it and write system.exit. Okay, but practically speaking, this code, this line of code is not necessary. Again, I will highlight it for the for easy understanding so that you can easily remember it back. Is it okay? For simplicity, I have removed that part. Just ignore that. So what I have to do here? I'm quickly revising that particular program. Observe carefully. Let me check how many members are there. Sir, if we don't convert it into int, then will it display as key value? Neha, the problem is this text field will only and only take string values. Will only and only take string values. So even if we try to, if we don't convert it and if we try to place it back, it will become an error issue over there. Okay. So let's quickly revise back with this particular program. What we are doing is we wanted to create a frame of this particular nature. In order to create that frame, we have taken a class called as add and we have extended the frame class here. Okay. Now, along with the frame class extension, we are also implementing a action listener interface. Do remember, whenever implements keyword comes, the next thing to it will be a interface. Action listener interface. Usually buttons are associated with a action listener. Buttons are associated with what? Action listener. In the next program, you will come to know what are the other things that will come up into picture. Okay. So what we have written in our first line, import java.awt.asterisk, then import java.awt.event.asterisk. We have to import both of them. Then we are having a class being defined called as add, and we are extending into that particular class whatever features are there in the frame class into our add one. Then we are also implementing action listener. This action listener is a interface. So whatever default abstract methods are available in the action listener, we have to define them. And one of the methods which is available in the action listener is action performed. Is what? Action performed. Okay, understood? So that's why we have written the logic for the action performed again. We have overridden it. So this event action listener, this action listener is the interface. So on this form, what graphical user components we require, we have declared them. And in the constructor, we are trying to have some properties of the frame being set. And then we are allocating memory for the components that are to be placed. And then we are setting the layout as null. And we are placing those components into their corresponding positions. Now, once that is done, I'm adding those components back to the frame. Till this point, the matter is very clear. Now, at this point, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to attach to this button the action listener. I'm trying to attach to this particular button some action listener. So how I'm registering my button with some action listener? I'm writing button.add. The action listener is the method which is meant for registering this particular button with the listener which we have implemented, which we are going to implement. Okay. So this add action listener will take this as the parameter, which is pointing to the current button which has invoked that particular method, and it will register this component with this particular action listener interface. Now, once this button is registered with the action listener interface, what method is provided in the action listener interface will get evaluated whenever the change in the state of the button occurs. Okay. So understood this logic? What we are doing here, we are attaching the action listener. We are registering this button with the action listener. We are registering the button with the action listener. How we are registering it? With the help of the method called as add action listener. What will happen when we register it with the action listener? Whenever there is a change in this button's state, whatever method are defined in this action listener will get evaluated, will get executed. Okay. So again, I am telling whenever there is a change in the button's state, whatever methods have been defined in this action listener will get executed. So what is the method that will get, which has been defined in this particular action listener? There is only one method, and that method is action performed, and that method is action performed. So this action listener will generate an event of a class called as action event. This action listener will generate an event of a class of a type called as action event. That's why here we are writing action event. And in order to catch that particular event, we are having one object being created. Okay. AE is the object name. A is the object name. You can keep any name. For action event, I have kept AE. Okay. Now in this particular method, what we are doing is we are checking out of these 6 components whether the event occurred for this component only or not. If the event has occurred for only this component, then do this activity. Otherwise, don't do it. So how I am going to verify whether the event was occurred for this component or not? By using get source. Whatever event was passed, I am taking that event object and I am asking for what is the source, get source. If it is equal to button underscore add, if it is equal to this button only, then what to do? Read the data from the text box, first text box, fn, convert it into integer format and store it into a variable called as fno. Okay. Similarly, take the data from the second text box using get text method, convert it into integer format and store it into SNO. Now, both the variables are containing the first number and the second number. Using the third variable sum, add those two values and store it back into sum. Now I have to put that sum into the third text box. To keep it into third text box, I have to convert this sum into some string format. To convert it into string format, all I need to do is I have to add or append to this sum string. So it will use implicit typecasting. It will convert string integer into string format, and the resultant will all become string. So whatever string we are going to pass here, it is being passed to set text method of the text box, which is a predefined method of the text field. So for the third text field, I'm calling a method called as set text, and I'm passing that particular some value. Okay. So till here is the class. Which class? Our frame class, add frame class. But where are we creating our object? In the new class, in the second class. Okay. What I am having add demo as the second class, and I am creating an object of add which we have created earlier, and I am setting its visibility as true. Setting its visibility as true. Do remember here we did not use set visible. That's why I have written it here. Set visible as true. I hope this particular program is clear for all. Is there any doubt? Okay, thank you. For others, is this program clear? Okay, good, Akhil. Fine. All of you listen carefully now. Make a note of your homework. You have to create a program similar to this one, but for multiplication. Means you have to take first value and second value, multiply them and put it back into the result. You have to write that particular program and send it to me. Set visible starting itself. What will we write in main? If we mention set visible in the starting itself, Sushmita, your doubt is very authentic one, very nice doubt. If we mention this particular set visible in this part itself, in the constructor itself, no need to write it here. Just after add the object creation, keep a semicolon. That's it. Once the object is being created, the constructor gets called up and we are performing all the activity within the constructor. If you have a look back, we are making all the activity within the constructor. Is it clear? Again, I am telling, if the set visible is written there in the constructor, no need to write this particular line here. Just keep the semicolon after new space add constructor name. So your homework will be, you have to create similar form, but not for addition, you have to create it for multiplication. Fine. So now in the next part, I have kept one more program for you, but here I am going to have checkboxes, event handling. What will happen if one of the checkboxes is selected and deselected? So graphical components that are pertaining to checkboxes are radio buttons for your checkbox group, checkboxes, list, and choice. For all these four different categories of graphical components, the event class that is associated with it is item event. Is what? Item event. And the interface that is associated with it is item listener is item listener. And the interface which is associated with it is item listener. And the method that we need to implement, that we need to write the code is public void item state changed. What method we need to write? Item state changed. And the class of event that is going to be triggered is item event, which we have seen here. Okay. Just to give you a quick recap, I'm going for the previous program. Here we are trying to have the button activity, button press type of events, right? So for buttons, we have got a action listener called as listener. We have got a listener called as action listener. What is the name of the button listener? Action listener. And what is the event that is going to occur when the button is pressed? Action event. What is the event class which is going to occur when the button is pressed? Action event. And what is the method that is to be defined when that particular event occurs? Action performed. What is the name of the method that is to be written when the button is pressed? Action performed. Similarly, whenever any of the radio buttons or checkboxes or list or choice, any of these items are changed, event class which occurs is item event. And the listener is item listener, and the listener name is item listener. And the method which we need to define, just like your action performed method was there for button, here item state changed is the method which we need to define. You need to memorize these at these points. Okay. So let's go for this particular program. Here in this program, I wanted to check whatever checkbox has been selected here, that information should be mentioned. Suppose I select Java, it should mention Java checkbox checked. If I select HTML, HTML checkbox checked. Okay, so that type of information should be displayed on this particular part. Now you can obviously see we are having two splitting of this frame. One is having a different background color, one is having a different background color. Okay, that means we are going to have paneling. We are going to have paneling. So what we are doing here is we are creating one frame, and we are trying to set its size. We are setting its layout as border layout because I want to keep all the components to the north. And I'm creating one panel, and inside that panel, I'm setting the background color as cyan. Okay. Now status label is equal to whichever label we have created here. Status label is equal to new label. We have allocated memory to it, and we are trying to align that particular label to the center. We are trying to align that particular label to the center. Now we are setting its size as 350 by 100. 350 by 100, we are trying to set its size. Now for checkboxes, I'm creating 3 checkboxes, one for Java, one for HTML, one for PHP. And I'm adding all the 3 checkboxes back on the screen and back on the panel. And finally, that panel is being added to the north of the frame, the last line. Okay. And then for each of the checkbox, I'm attaching or registering each of the checkbox with some action listener. That action listener over here is item listener. And how to register it? We are using add item listener. Using this method, we are trying to attach that particular checkbox with the item listener class. Okay. So I'm passing the new custom item listener as the object for each of it. And now finally I'm attaching that particular label back to the frame. I'm adding it and setting the visibility as true. For this custom item listener, I'm trying to implement the item listener interface here because I did not implemented the item interface here, right? So I'm implementing it here in the second class, and I'm trying to define the item state change method which we have to define, and setting the label as whatever item was selected, get that item plus checkbox. This is a string checkbox plus what is the state that was changed. If it is equal to 1, then display checkbox, otherwise display unchecked. Okay, I'm checking whether its state was changed. If it was changed, it will be 1. If it was not changed, it will be 0. That means, what do I mean by change? By default, all the checkboxes will not be having any tick marks with it. If we select it, it will become ticked. So whenever the state is changing from unticked to ticked, that get state change will return 1. So whenever this condition becomes true, this is a conditional statement, right? Question mark and colon. Whenever this expression evaluates to true, this part will be returned. This part will be returned. Where it is being returned? For this particular entire string. So it will be finally like get item, get what was checked, plus checkbox, plus if this change happened, then checked will be coming, otherwise unchecked will be coming and being appended here. Okay. And then finally, as a normal, we are creating an object of that particular A class. Fine. This particular program is little complex than the first one. So for your exam sake, I prefer you to go with the first program. But here, since other components will also have certain action listeners associated with them, as I said, there are various action listeners. I have introduced one out of it. Is it okay for everyone? Now, there are certain other programs which I have kept as additional programs for you. If you are really interested, go ahead and try to practice them. Go ahead and try to understand them. If you are not able to practice them at system, try to understand them. They will help you a lot in your programming skills. One of the program is I want one application to be developed of this format. So whatever I type on the left hand part of the screen, when I click on submit, it should get displayed onto the data part of the text box here. And when I click on save, it should save it into some file. Okay, it should save it onto our hard disk. But this application is not so simple. It looks very simple graphically, but its coding is not simple. It's very difficult. I have written the entire code one after the other for you. You can go through this particular code and try to get to know what I am trying to do. So just like how we had the button action listeners over there, here also I have created with the same standards this particular program also I have written with the same ideologies. So I'm having my class being it's extending the frame class and it's implementing the action listener, which was for our summation type of addition type of program. Okay, very similar to that. So I have kept all the programs what is to be done. So please go through it, but do remember this is not for your exam. This is just for your practice. Okay, so you can see some data was written and it was saved back into some file, and it was even asking when I am trying to close that application, it is again asking me, do you want to close it or not? Yes or no. Based on the confirmation, it will get closed. So here I had one more for loading of the data and displaying back what to be done. I have kept it. I have kept one more program which was there for replicating the notepad file, at least with the first menu strip which was there. Okay. So if you are interested, go through this program. It will help you a lot. One more Sudoku game. I have kept this code in this notes section of my PPT. Go through them. Okay. Then how to have the rounded rectangles to be drawn, all those points. The entire notepad code is also available in the notes section. If you wish, you can go through them. This is for using just to give you a glimpse of how the swing package will introduce. If you recollect back, there was checkbox group. There were no radio buttons. But here there are radio buttons and they are little grayish in color and they are having some shading effect. You see that particular part, and it is little darker grayish in color, and it is having some more shading effect in the framing borders, whereas in the previous cases the frames were dull. AWT. So it has got few features which you can go through, and this was there in your 8th unit. I hope this 8th unit will be easy for you to memorize. I have tried to put as much stuff as possible, but due to time constraint, I cannot go ahead with each and every program and explain to you. But I did my level best to keep as many as possible so that you can practice in your leisure time. So is there any doubt with regard to the topics that we have discussed in the morning class and whatever we have discussed today as a whole? No doubts? Sir, can we create some other games like Sudoku 2? Yes, we can create. Until now, which we have discussed. Yes, we can create. We can definitely create. And one of the things that I kept here, actually this is for Sudoku. We can create certain games like that. The only thing is How to get full screen in Sudoku? There will be the title to be hidden, and you will have borderless frames to be used. That's a higher end concept, and then you can have those things full screen. Normally the frame will have those bordered frames. If you go with borderless, you will get those features. All the full screen does is it will maximize on both the sides, maximize both, and then it will have the hiding of the title bars and the below strips. That's all. Anyway, the meeting is going to wind up. The session is closing. You can see the code is written here. It's lengthy, but first I ask you to go through the basics first. If your basics are perfect, you can do anything. You can, if you are able to understand this, then only you can do. Upload 7th and 8th unit videos for revision of some points. Surely I'm doing it now. Okay, as soon as this session close, I will upload them back on the YouTube. Are the videos of any help to you people? They are helpful. Okay. Actually, I was just trying to make sure that those who are unable to join due to some issues, there may be some internet issues or something going on, and those who are missing those classes are being uh, not left without any information. That's why I created those videos. But those who have already attended these sessions online, for it may become a revision point. But I know that there are some huge gaps coming in between due to phone calls and sometimes due to one or two lectures calling me here and there, and due to some initial uh, joining time gaps, all those things. Some issues are there in the videos, but I hope you can skim through the initial part and get to the topics. YouTube plays it very well. So is there any doubt, or shall we close this session here? And tomorrow I'm going to start with the RDBMS second unit, and inshallah we'll close the second unit tomorrow. Third unit and fourth unit, they are small, and we'll try to finish off very soon. Third unit specifically is a smaller one. We can easily understand. It's just a theoretical matter. Few concepts are there. Second unit, it is little logical, and it is of great importance. We need to concentrate more on second unit. So tomorrow also, tomorrow is what? Thursday. Inshallah, we will have the same type of sessions, lengthy sessions, 4 to 5 sessions, and we'll finish the second unit there. Third unit on Friday, I may or may not spend much time there. Kumar, please don't put it on record. Yeah, definitely. I know all those things. You need to prepare, you have less time. I agree with you. Do not worry for all those things. Okay. Is there anything else to be discussed? No? So I'm closing this session.